I'm not whimsical enough for Love and Wine, and I've seen a Lakshan Bioscope with this exact plot, and I'm not sorry to say Mzansi Bioscope did it better. My biggest gripe with this movie is that I am just too logic for it, because if your movie is supposed to be rooted in this reality, then I expect it to follow the rules of this reality, and Love and Wine just refuses to. Love and Wine is the story of Ovee, a spoilt, rich playboy who decides to switch lives with his poor bestie, who is also the son of his housekeeper, who also moonlights as his pool boy / errand boy, to prove that he can be successful without his father's name backing him and get the girl, because of course this is a rom-com after all. And that's fine. If it had just set out to do that and did exactly that, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But Love and Wine wants to both address and ignore the crux of all its issues, which is class disparity, which is insane to me because you can't do both. You have to pick a lane and stick to it. Ovee is categorized as this rich playboy with a heart of gold who has his bestie as his errand boy, but they connect on a deeper level because Ovee is different, because he buys flowers and donates them to make people's days. He says to his errand boy / bestie.
Yeah, if I win, yeah.
Bro, of course you're gonna win. You're the boss's son.
Oh, not this again.
Bro, it's the truth. Like, you think you're the shit, but actually, you wouldn't lost one day in my shoes.
Oh, that hurts. You know I have character, bro. You know I've got qualities. I'm just like you.
And I don't want to lie. If my billionaire bestie said that to me in a country with the worst class disparity gaps ever, I would crash out. Because what did you just say to me? When my whole family is employed by your family, when I can't study what I want or what I'm passionate in because I have the whole weight and expectations of a whole lineage, and I'm supposed to believe that they're just boys together, when one is lounging in the pool while the other is cleaning the very same pool. Don't piss me off, movie. And it's not like they couldn't have made Ovee ignorant of his privilege. And then when they switch lives with the bestie, he sees the privileges that he is afforded by his wealth and his name and starts acting differently. But this movie wants him to be socially conscious, then act like he isn't. And it's not like he couldn't have given his friend a handout because his friend would take it. He already takes his handout. He has no reason to not give his friend a handout and give him a leg up in life. Then there's Amahle, the female main character, who hates the rich because her dad, a rich man, impregnated and dumped her poor mother and has since treated them like second-class citizens. And I'm not saying this is a one-to-one comparison, but Ovee has his errand boy, bestie, escort his one-night stands, who he basically treats like second-class citizens because he can't be bothered with them. But it's okay, because the hoes be thirsty. So is it okay or not okay to treat the people you sleep with like second-class citizens? Because you're sending me mixed messages here. And to reiterate, I'm not equating being a deadbeat to two consenting adults sleeping together. I'm just taking note of a pattern of behavior that the movie wants to flag as bad, ignore for another character, and just not address it because it's inconvenient. And my other problem with this movie is the characters that are there to help with the main character's emotional labor. Ovee and his dad's relationship is one of the worst father-son relationships I've seen in a while. The angst caused by the unspoken feelings is just incredibly unsatisfying. Their explosions come out of nowhere. They're always fighting about the stupidest things, and it has no merit in the movie. It's just another thing to make us feel bad for the sad boy that is Ovee, and it doesn't work because him and the dad have no chemistry. They feel like they just met 3 days ago, and I know Bongile Manzai is a good actor, but he is just not convincing. He does not give billionaire or dad to a 20-something-year-old. So it feels awkward to watch him yell at Ovee, and for Ovee to be acting like an angsty teen is just not convincing, which is sad because Ovee's emotional problems are linked to his dad because of his unresolved trauma of his mother dying and his dad refusing to acknowledge it or grieve and just burying himself in work. And I know they're just trying to sympathy farm but it's just not working because the performances are just not convincing. The Mama Wam arc is even worse than the Dead arc. Because why? Why was this necessary? Why did you need to do this? But anyway, Mama Wam is this woman who sells flowers on the street that Ovee buys from. So she has a stroke, and we find out that is her emergency contact, and Ovee is at the farm. So he rushes to the city to try and help her. And this woman is just laying there on the concrete. And my only thought is just, how long does it take to travel from the winelands to the city? Because it's probably like 30 plus minutes, and you're telling me that this woman was laying on the concrete for 30 plus minutes waiting for Ovee to arrive and no one thought to call an ambulance? And then after Ovee arrives, he takes her back to the winelands, to the hospital, to his Dr. Bay, which is also crazy because this woman had to wait 30 minutes on the concrete for him to arrive, and then he's going to drive another 30 minutes to get her to a doctor. There's probably hospitals in the city, but we can't do that because Dr. Bay has to be the one to help her so that she sees that Ovee is a sad, emotional boy with a heart of gold, and Mama Wam has to tell her that Ovee is a sad, emotional boy with a heart of gold. And this Mama Wam makes no sense to me. Because why is this random woman necessary to do Ovee some emotional labor, which doesn't even work in the end? Because the relationship with this woman is not properly explained or properly explored because we don't have time to do that. When we had a perfectly viable solution to that, which was his housekeeper who raised him, who is the mother of his bestie, who has always been there in his life, who does not need to be explained, who can just be a mother figure for him and not be explained because it's self-explanatory. She raised him, so he would have a connection to her, but I digress. He needed. So to conclude all this, Amahle is a good person that does not deserve to be in this movie. The only problem I have with her is a very minor nitpick, which is, why are you touching this random man who is your patient with your bare hands? And I get what they're going for. I get the vision. But it's incredibly unsexy. Amahle's bestie has worms for brains and a very lax moral compass. But she fits in this movie. And Amahle's boss is so annoying. Like, sir, she doesn't want you. Take a hint and take a hike and get some hobbies while you're at it. Because this is just some jobless behavior. But I can't even say that because he has a job, which is frankly wild for all the free time he has to nag this girl. But yeah, since our main lead is a big fat liar and manipulator, we have to have him go against the devil incarnate for it to make sense. And like, Ovee is a liar. The boy is a liar. He lied even when he was explaining himself. What is wrong with him? But yeah, he's a sad boy with a dead mother, so we have to overlook that. And don't even get me started on Desmond Dube because it was just ridiculous and the comedy did not land. And I'ma just go crazy if I keep talking about it.